Playing those SAOs, huh?
Yeah, I think it was when what's his name again? God damn it, Daddy Long Legs was in the item.
Eh,
Yeah, that was the last time. But yeah, I haven't touched Accent Core since that time. I don't know.
same here,
But the
bro.
thing is, do you think the reason why they are touching up Accent Core with rollback netcode is because Strive, in essence, is like a watered down Accent Core?
I think, well, that's what I was thinking, though.
Cause yeah, I don't know. I don't. I
Because,
guess they're trying. Not that they're trying to get people like ready for Strive, but I guess it's the closest thing, like for them to test if the netcode
yeah.
actually works. Cause if it works in Revelator, it might not mean it to work properly in Strive. But
Because if you look at even some of the characters that they're bringing back, like Angie, very
yeah,
everyone knows the last game he was in is
XX.
Accent Core.
Yeah,
So now it's gonna encourage people to buy the game so that they check out how Angie played in the last game he was in.
yeah. Then
Yeah,
yeah, true that, true that. But
because even Ukizi, eh?
oh, you're saying what about Kizuke?
Ukizi K was actually tuning that if Angie doesn't get watered down and he plays the way he plays, because apparently Angie plays like a guilty gear strike character.
Yeah, I know it does. It does. It's got
Mm,
rekas, it's got not strings, but you know the deal. Pattern into special move. It's one is to one,
exactly.
really. And he was a very strong character in Exenco. So I don't know.
Mm. So
Uh,
I feel
uh,
so I feel like they might make him a lot easier for new players.
the thing is, though, the game is already a lot easier for new players. Do you do you need it to be a
Hey,
bit more
bro.
easier?
Yes, Charles, that's what everyone wants, bro.
Ah, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Ah,
Anyway,
and
let's get it started. D2, are you still there?
I'm still there.
All right. I didn't want King to know I actually started recording a long time ago. That's going into the shit.
oh shit.
Ladies and gentlemen, King, if you can switch off that game, we don't need any extra noise. But
All right, it's done, bro. It's
ladies and
done.
gentlemen, welcome to another Spiral Arrow podcast. Thanks for all the support and everyone who's been sticking with the channel throughout this dry spell, because there has been no content worth anything. That's why I keep telling people, go to Fiery D2's channel, go to KRW King's channel. That's where you find content. My channel's washed up. I'm an old man, I can't do this no more. But
Oh damn it, bro.
today we've
Just say
got
you've done it all. Damn.
oh, I've done it all.
This time and all. Just say you've done it all, bro.
Hey man, I tried. I won't lie, I really tried. I know this is not to do with our topic, but for whoever, the two people who view my channel, right? I've tried my best. I've tried. I've
But yeah,
tried my
you've
best.
posted a lot, bro. Now just specialize.
Yeah, it's now time to find that one thing that's gonna get viewership. But anyway, I'm being joined by Fiery D2 yet again. I'm being joined by the great KRW King yet again. This man has been talking about Angie and Guilty Gear. Some people might say he works at Arc Systems. He even came to me with a new trailer of a game called what? DNF Jewel? King, what the hell is that game by Axis?
Oh, that fighting game.
Yeah, King just posted some fighting
King-
game called DNF
King
Jewel,
said-
and that was that. Guy just kept quiet about it and vanished. I don't know. Is King still in the building? D2, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm still there, bro. I'm still.
Let's just hold on a second. We won't cut it. But maybe this man is blown up. This is the main issue of trying to run podcasts over the internet, and the internet is unstable. But anyway, it's at least people get to see it firsthand how COVID has messed everything up. But anyway, while we wait for KW King, if he manages to come back, you never know. D2, what's up? What's been happening in your life? And is there any two cents you can give the people listening in as to what's been happening? How are your days? What games? You know, what's going on?
Yeah, life sucks here, bro. That's what I'm gonna say, bro. I mean, like I think for COVID in third world countries, the longer it persists, the worse it becomes. Yeah, you
True.
can't even get access to like internet, so end up dropping other games. We ended up dropping also some other games because data issues.
Yeah.
But we do the best that we can with what we have.
What have you been playing recently? Like what do you think takes most of your time, or at least which games do you think you want to get good at that you've been playing?
Games that I've been playing it is MK11, Counter Strike. Those are the games I can see. CS:GO.
Yeah,
I'm back,
man.
boys. I'm back.
Yep. Oh yeah, we've just been telling the crowd about how you have a chronic drug problem where you just have to go get a quick fix every 10 minutes. But I'm sure they'll understand. But I know I was just talking to the people about what's been happening, hearing what D2 has to say. D2's been talking about how he's been playing MK, trying to grind in MK and CS Counter Strike. Before we actually begin, King, what have you been up to? What's been happening in life? Where is it going? Where is it ending? What's up?
Nani?
Hmm? By the way, congratulations on what level did you reach in Counter Strike?
Gold Nova 4? That's poverty though.
Was still.
That's not even worth congratulating online. That's like, for us people, that's something. But online, that's poverty.
Ah, come on,
That's
Jobs.
only like the top 20%. The real people, if you can get into like MGE and above, now you're dealing with the top 15, top 10% of players. But Gold Nova 4. Gold Nova 4 is like I'm the top of the scrubs. I'm the best scrub you can find online. If I can get above Gold Nova 4, then I can play the game. But I was just asking, like, what's been happening in your life? Have you been playing any interesting games? Have you been doing anything interesting that you would like to share with the people?
Well, how can I put it? Well, it's basically been the same, really. Like, I always find myself revisiting other games that are not Taken 7. Like, I've been fiddling around with MK11 so that I get to play with Owens, and I've been playing some Fujin and Rambo. Those characters are actually good. Like, if you want to play a non-watered down character in MK11, just play Fujin.
Wait. Hold on. D2, you're my lawyer in this one. What are you trying to say about third variations in Dell? What you trying to say about my baby girl right there, man? I think we're about to start a fight, man. What are you saying about Sindel?
Sindel should be banned. Ban that bitch. Ban that woman, bro. Low fireball tells.
Yeah. Yeah.
No.
Hell yeah. That's what we're talking about right there, man.
No, bruh. No, that's not okay.
I
think
if I were to ever actually play MK11, I would only play Sindel. Only. So I'm just gonna throw it out there.
That's the only projector she's got from full screen.
True.
What's the problem?
That's the only problem. Listen, MK11 is all about mental frame advantage. That's it. So Sindel can just do forward 4 and you block everything. You block it and don't press a button.
No, but I thought you and Ninja, aka Andrew, were in the same school of we flawless block everything.
Oh no. I've never done that in my life.
I heard that those were the chats between you two in your secret Discord server. You've got a secret Discord server right there, man.
And what other game was I playing? I was also playing some Grand Blue. And my god, bruh. Woo!
My question is, okay, before you even say anything about Grand Blue and Yule and all those things, when Yule came out, was your internet experience the same or worse?
It was terrible, bruh.
Oh, because I've been trying to play with D2 and Jarvis, and we can't connect at all. Not even that the lag is worse. We just can't connect. So I honestly don't know What changed with this patch? So for anyone listening in, the last time I played Grand Blue was when Cagliostro came out. That's literally the last time. Because we can't connect.
I literally remember that match. I think I was the last one you played.
Yeah, when we recorded that time. So yeah, that was pretty much the last time we played the game.
Wait. And when are they gonna even add rollback to Grand Blue?
I don't think they actually will. The next patch is in January, and the next patch is talking about balance changes and the character. I don't, genuinely speaking, right. I'ma just throw this out there. If it wasn't for COVID, maybe this game would have lasted long. But I think this game is done.
Yeah.
This game's over. Come April next year, Guilty Gear is taking over. It's done. This game's over. Season 2 or whatever they call it.
Which Guilty Gear is
just talking about Strive. I know someone in the crowd was thinking that I was saying that Guilty Gear sign is gonna take over in April, but nope, that sheep is gone. We're talking about Strive, the game everyone hates, but King seems to love. So I don't know what's happening. But either way, I have a feeling.
It.
Why though? Why? Actually, this is gonna tie into a lot of what we're gonna be talking about. So before we get into that, any more words? Any last things you would like to say? Any of you guys, or should we just get straight into this nonsense?
Oh yeah, by the way, if any of you guys that are listening and you play Jury, I recommend you start using Jury's V-Trigger 2.
V-Trigger 2, the nonsense V-Trigger that doesn't work?
Oh my God, Charles!
The thing
what
is,
I discovered.
Okay. I'm just going to just say this to anyone listening. If you find yourself wanting to use V-Trigger 2 Jury, at that point, just go use Nash, because that's just the better character at taking people's meter. I'ma just leave it at that. Just go play Nash. It's a better character. That's it. I'ma just leave it there. So, ladies and gentlemen, the topic of this particular podcast, we're 12 minutes in, we haven't even said shit. But the topic is how timed, I don't know if I said that right, timed, my goodness, the M disappeared. Timed, timed, right? Not timed finish Mswenya, not that guy. How timed exclusivity in the gaming space hurts the consumers, which is us, the communities, which is still us, and
which is also us,
pretty much the sales of the game. So before I get your guys' point of view, I'm just gonna try lay a small little foundation about what I mean when I say timed exclusivity in video games, in case there's someone who doesn't know what I'm talking about. I'm sure everyone does. So usually this is what happens in the current space as it is right now. You have multiple places in which you can go play your games. Sony has the PlayStation, Microsoft has the Xbox, Microsoft also has games on Windows 10. You can play on Steam, you play all these different digital distribution networks that are on PC if you're a PC gamer. Last I heard, was it KFC? Was it McDonald's that had their own custom console that you could cook in as well? It released recently, or at least a concept of it.
KFC.
It's KFC, yeah. We had Soldier Boy who had his own thing that got sued to oblivion, but once upon a time there was a Soldier Boy console.
Rip-off of Sega games somewhere.
Hey, D2, I heard you and Soldier Boy were working together on that one. But yeah,
you get me, Pitla.
So pretty much you have various options to play your games on currently as it is. It may not be as much as the past, but you still have options. So developers develop their game. A certain company will make a game, then after that they will decide, or at least their publisher will decide where this game will be played. So for example, if Sony Interactive Studios were to sponsor me to make a game, chances are they are gonna want exclusive rights to that game, so my game will only be played on the PlayStation. So that's what we call exclusivity. Timed exclusivity, where I really have a problem, because exclusive games I have no issue in the sense that if the company paid for the development, they deserve the rights to the game to some degree, so I have no beef there. Timed exclusivity is this: I make a multi-platform game. I'm gonna give the best example that pissed me off last year, Samurai Showdown. There we go. It was the revival of this long lost game, Samurai Showdown 7, coming to new consoles and PC. That's what the trailers were saying, that this game is coming out. They didn't specify where it's coming out. The game is hyped for all the Samurai Showdown players of the past. And then just before release, people are like, hold on a second, you haven't said anything about a Nintendo release or a PC release. All you've been talking about is PS4 and Xbox. And of which the Xbox news was like a little bit. And then the developers, who is SNK, come out and say, you know what guys, this game is only actually coming out on PlayStation 4 and Xbox One in June of 2019. The PC version is coming out some other time, we can't say when, which was actually February of this year. And then when it came out on PC February this year, it didn't even come out to all of the PC distributions. It came out on Epic Game Store, which paid money to have it as a timed exclusive to Epic Game Store for another year. So the Steam version will probably only come out in 2021, and there is still no word as to when the Nintendo Switch version is coming out. For anyone who wants to play it on Nintendo Switch, it might never come out, right? So the reason why I would like to talk about this particular topic, it's happened multiple times. This is just one example. SNK, even with King of Fighters, 14, same story timed exclusive, it came out 1 year before on consoles, which was 2016. I only got to play it at the end of 2017 on PC, and it was dead on arrival. No one cared anymore. But my point being, I waited so long for a game I would have paid full price for on release. I would have paid full price for Samurai Showdown last year when it was still hype and still hot, and I would have played the shit out of it. But it's now almost 2 years. Best believe by the time that thing drops on Steam, I already don't care anymore. I won't even bother look at it, and most of the PC community has already moved on from that game. So how has that benefited them in terms of getting a bigger crowd? That's where my issue is with timed exclusivity in games. So I don't know who comes up with this business model, and I don't actually know how it benefits besides getting initial bank from that particular company, publisher, whatever you wanna call it, right? That initial big payment of give us your game, we'll give you millions, and then we'll release it on our platform first. I don't see anything good for the consumer. What do you think on that?
Well, timed exclusives, yeah, they're shit in my opinion. Well, in this in this day and age, they're really messed up, because I do believe back when the PS3 and Xbox 360 were booming, that didn't quite matter anyways, because everyone knew what they wanted to play.
Yeah.
Because you had a multitude of games back in the day. But now, in this modern era, everyone is limited to a certain set of games that they end up playing, right?
Yeah.
Like, there was even a case with Tomb Raider. I'm not sure if I think it's Shadow of the Tomb Raider, whereby it was released on Xbox, yeah? It was released first on Xbox.
I don't know if it was the same thing for Rise of the Tomb Raider as well. The Xbox release came, but it wasn't like a big amount of time. I think it was one of those, I could be totally wrong. It could have been one of those, the Xbox One version comes out this month, then the PlayStation 4 version comes out next month or the month after that.
I think it's the Shadow of the Tomb Raider, because it came out on PS4 a year later.
My question is, did it then come out on PC at the same time with the PS4, or is it the Xbox One coming out with the PC version?
I think it came out with the PC version and Xbox jumped out, and then PS4 came out the following year. So now here's the thing, right? It did not do well with that time frame. They're gonna release the PS4 version the following year, because ones who wanted to really play that game ended up jumping ship to Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
So Uncharted 4, actually the Uncharted franchise is basically considered a Tomb Raider knockoff, or Tomb Raider copy and paste in like something. Yeah, that's the life. That's what some people are saying.
True.
But when Uncharted 4 came out, it's actually sold more copies than Tomb Raider on PC and Xbox combined.
True.
So when they finally decided to release it on PS4, no one actually cared about the game. No one cared about it anymore.
Yeah. That's I feel.
They didn't.
Oh, sorry. Please continue.
Okay, yeah, like they just didn't care about it because already Uncharted 4, it's basically new gameplay, new look, new feel, and it was a more interesting experience as compared to Shadow of the Tomb Raider. So why would you want to spend another $60 on a game that was released a year before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that particular example seems to be the general, or at least the effect that happens on average. By the time the
Yeah.
game does come out, who cares? Someone has already finished it 50 times a year ago. You really have to love a game to really to buy into it after everyone else. So I'll give an example, right? I already talked about how I bought KOF 14 a year after due to timed exclusivity. Last year, I know I was late into the series. I played Shenmue 1 and 2, which originally was made by Sega as a company, and Yu Suzuki was the producer. Legendary game in its time back in the late 90s. Then Shenmue 3 finally drops last year in November on everywhere, but on PC it's an Epic Game Store exclusive. Bear in mind that didn't the game didn't do well at all. In terms of being a modern game, it didn't do well. But for people who like the Shenmue series, it was a throwback to the old game. So all the issues the old game had, if you had to play the old games now, those issues exist in the new game, and they kind of exist in a nostalgic way. So it's not really a good game if you're looking at it mechanically, but if you just want something to throw you back to your childhood, it's a good game. It finally came out on Steam beginning of December this year. I still got it because I love the series, but I still didn't feel like that was a good move. A part of me, for many Epic Game Store exclusives, this is on the PC front, I always say no. If you've done that Epic Game Store exclusive nonsense, that's it for me. That's why I've never played Metro Exodus or any other major title that's been an Epic Game Store exclusive.
By the way, Metro Exodus, or was it Metro 2030? I don't remember, but it was free on the Epic Game Store recently.
Oh yeah, that was 2033, the first one. Yeah, D2 is actually playing that right now. D2 is a sellout to the Epic Game Store. But generally,
don't believe this guy.
Oh my goodness. So it's like generally that's what I hear from people. It's like after the hype is dead, and after you've been made to wait an extra year for no reason at all, everyone is kind of salty. Like, what's the point in even, Shenmue?
That's what you said. Yeah. The problem, what people need to realize, like in typed exclusives, like what you said, that word hype. For you to market a game, you need to have hype. So if you're gonna put a timed exclusive on a game, when the hype dies, why would anyone want to buy the game?
Exactly.
Doesn't matter if it's FGC or first person shooter or just a story. If the hype dies, there's no point of getting the game. And back like what you said again, the game will have to be very good for someone to buy it later on.
Yeah.
And how many games have we seen so far?
That are
Imagine,
very good.
let's give it an example. Imagine Red Dead Redemption 2 was an exclusive PlayStation.
The souls were gonna suck, bro.
Yeah, they were gonna suck.
Because imagine if it only came out on Xbox, since Red Dead was more popular on the Xbox console, and then finally when the PS owners decide to get the game, they'll rather buy the game when it's on sale than buy it brand new.
So yeah, it's
like
also. Continue, sir.
Okay, this, like what Charles is saying, like whoever thought of this business model, like I feel like it has some good elements to it, right? so as to give people, what can I say, early access, easy early access. But the thing is, the time period at which they shut out other platforms, that's where they end up fucking up. Because let me just give you a more recent example. Take, for example, Godfall.
Yeah.
Godfall was supposed to be a PS5 exclusive, and then they said they were gonna release a PC version, is it a year later? But guess what? It's already available on PC.
Why do you think that happened?
Here's the thing. They kept on showing like that gameplay and whatnot, and a lot of people were actually throwing shit at it, saying that you'd rather play a game like Warcraft, since it Warcraft. I mean, what is it called? Warframe. Yes.
Yeah.
You'd rather play Warframe than Godfall, and the fact that Godfall is just God of War mixed with Warframe, what's the point? Because you can just buy yourself God of War, style look God of War, buy Warframe and play your own Warframe, and that's it.
You've got the same experience.
You've got the same experience either way. And they had a good concept, but a lot of people who also played the game for the story also say that the game felt stale. And Charles Brown.
It's not going down. To be
No, it's not
honest,
going down.
I remember seeing the early like trailers that were released for God 4, but I look at this is another example. I never continued following up on the game because I believe when they first showed the initial trailers, they were showing them with the catchphrase of like, this is a glimpse of what next gen is going to be. You know what I mean? That was
Yes,
like
yes.
part of the selling point. So I saw the initial trailers. I was like, okay, I guess it's something new. Let's see where this goes.
Talking about punk.
and then and then I realized that at the time they were saying it's gonna be a PlayStation exclusive. And then guess what I did? I stopped following the game. So just that exclusivity already, when I felt like I was just being pushed out, like, oh, you're not on PlayStation, it's not for you, I immediately lost interest and I never looked back again. So if you're to ask me anything about Godfall, I don't know, besides the first trailer or two. So that in itself already shut me out. If we're just looking at it as like it's a business model made for money, how many people like me don't have PlayStation 4s who just looked and they heard exclusive and they're like, you know what, fuck that game, I'm moving on. Those could have been potential buyers, those could have been potential players, but we're gone. It's over. Even if it does come out on PC like you're saying, I don't care anymore. So I don't know. I feel like not to say that every game should be released on every platform. I know there's always these Xbox is better than PlayStation, PlayStation is better than Xbox, oh, we've got exclusives, oh, you don't have exclusives. That nonsense is always there. I kind of like the competition because if you were to have a scenario whereby every developer released onto every platform all the time, the big developers who either succeed,
you do have a point, Sibit.
yeah, you wouldn't want a situation whereby the big developers run the market and have a monopoly. I don't think that would be good. So at least dividing the guys, where it's some big guys there, some big guys there, at least kind of makes it fair for everyone else below them. Because if those were the guys running every console, imagine if EA ran PC, PS4, Xbox, and Nintendo, and you know what I mean, all these big companies that are known for shady deals, most games would become shady. Most games would become shady. So I kind of like the fact that not everyone is doing everything.
So what you're saying, that's the benefit of having timed exclusives.
No, that's just the benefit of having exclusives, full stop. So, for example, just like Sony has its God of Wars and all those games that are made by Sony Interactive Studio, they can continue making their own games for their console. And Microsoft can continue making Xbox games like Halo. Nintendo can keep on making Zelda and Mario. That's fine. I don't think having a situation whereby all those companies make their games for everyone, I don't think it would be a good thing. I don't think so, because at this, not saying that they wouldn't make money and not saying that the games wouldn't be good, but I'm looking at it in the sense of diversity for the smaller developers who are not as big as them.
I do understand what you mean. Like, for instance, like the exclusives, also it makes money for particular platforms. So we'll give an example like Frozen. You only find it on what you call it on Xbox, so at least you
In
can
PC.
okay, even PC, you can get people going to the, if you want GT Sport, go jump ship to the other side. So from what you are saying, yeah, it's better to have an exclusive than a temp exclusive. And also one advantage is it reduces errors. So we can give an example.
Cyberpunk 2077.
It is just for maybe PS5 and PC, there have been less problems. But the fact that they try to release everywhere just messes it up. So we're saying exclusives, not temp. So
Yeah.
exclusives, those are the benefits of it.
Yeah,
When you got temped, it's more like a hybrid, but it's got a lot of bad setbacks having a temp exclusive.
But I also think that it
Yeah.
falls on the marketing as well.
yeah.
Like, for most exclusives, and it's common knowledge, like God of War and Halo belong to Sony and Xbox respectively, right?
Yeah.
If you are to pull a proper timed exclusive thing that will still make people interested, it all depends on the marketing. Like, I'll give you an example. Remember when Spider-Man PS4 was announced,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then they said it's gonna be a PS4 exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
They kept on showing gameplay videos and marketing the game as well. Even Xbox owns still today, they're still saying they wanna play Spider-Man. If it ever drops on Xbox, they'll just dive in. It all depends on the marketing and presentation of the game.
But
That way
back-
you can.
Yeah,
Huh?
all right. Okay, continue. I'll let you know after. Continue.
I know you can say what you wanted to say, Daf.
I was saying it's back to what I mentioned before. The game will have to be that good for it
Yeah.
to move beyond that, beyond the hype, for people to play like on other platforms.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
Yeah, I think that's the issue with the Spider-Man example. Even though I personally haven't played the game that much, everyone who's played it says hands down it's just an amazing game. So it's like there's no reason to not play the game. But most timed exclusives are not Spider-Man PS4 levels of good. That's the problem. I've seen some dirt games become timed exclusives.
imagine MK was a temp. Do you
Oh
think?
my-
No. That one's an interesting one. Like
Which
first,
game? I got disconnected for a bit. Which game?
No, you was talking about if MK was a timed exclusive.
Ah.
That's a very interesting topic that you've brought up there, Daddy. Sorry to cut you off, but
And
before I go into that particular thought, I remember right now King was talking about how if the marketing is done right and people keep up with the information, they can still keep the hype flowing until the next release of the game on whichever other console or platform. But before I move on, my main question, let's remove regular exclusives, right? And let's remove multi-platform releases. If you're looking at timed exclusives, what is the purpose? That I think it's I maybe came into this acting like I'm against it, no, like as if I know why it's done. But maybe you can give me an answer. Like, what is really the purpose of a timed exclusive? What does that achieve for the players? More, what does it do better than just releasing it everywhere all at once? Because I just don't get it. I think that's my main issue. I don't see any positives in timed exclusives. Besides, if you're looking at it from the developer's perspective of, my game is kind of bad, right? It might not sell as much as we hoped when we were making it. So I can recoup some of my losses by going to KRW King's platform because he's gonna give me a bonus of 50 million to release it on his console first and then everyone else later. I think that's the only reason why people do it.
Yeah, you're actually driving a very good point here, Charles.
That's how Epic Game Store is winning on the PC side. It's like it's taking games that everyone wants and games that, like, there are some developers before, like I was saying, Shenmue 3 didn't turn out to be an amazing game, right? But it was hyped to be an amazing game, a throwback to this great franchise. But then it turned out not like that. I won't say it turned out bad because the game is still enjoyable. But let's just, for a lack of better words, on release, people could already see that this game is not gonna perform like people hoped it would perform. What did Yu Suzuki then do for PC? He went straight to Epic Game Store for the money that they offer and then got the timed exclusive there on PC. It was only for the money. 4A Games with Metro Exodus did the same thing. I believe at the time Epic Game Store offered them a bonus. It's just that I don't remember if the bonus was 10 million or 50 million to have it a timed exclusive for 8 months. It was just for the money. And usually I feel like when developers run for that just for the money deal, it's usually because the game isn't actually gonna be as good as people hoped it would. So why should I run a loss when I can just make money? Like that's the issue I have. I don't see any other reason besides that. So I don't know. But anyway, D2 was talking about if MK was a timed exclusive, how would that be? The issue of timed exclusives has that one issue as well, in the sense of competitive games or even just DLC in a particular game. There have been situations of timed exclusivity. So for example, Call of Duty. Every major Call of Duty release ever since Infinite Warfare. So that's Infinite Warfare, World War II, the new Modern Warfare, this Call of Duty Black Ops World War, Black Ops Cold War, right? What they do is this: if you pre-order the game ahead of time, every beta that exists before the launch, you get to play. Everyone else doesn't get to play the beta, right? So someone might say, that doesn't someone might say that doesn't matter, you're overthinking things. But let's all pretend we were competitive Call of Duty players who are represented by teams. It's our livelihood, paychecks and all. If King is always pre-ordering Call of Duty to get that exclusive right to those betas, the beta tests before release, in essence he's played the game before us. That is also a form of timed exclusivity, because we will play the game eventually, all of us. But this guy who put in the money first is playing it before everyone else. So by default, you already have more experience and you've learned more about the game because of that timed exclusive window. Even Mortal Kombat 11 and others as well. I'm just using it as an example with Combat Pack 1. If you pre-order, even MKX and Injustice, right? If you pre-order the Combat Pack, you get access to the DLC character before everyone else can buy it as individuals on the store. Yeah, so that means people can play those characters before you, they learn them before you. You go to Combat League, you're getting beat up by characters you don't even know because it's not even available for you. So in that sense, gents, how do you then defend or find the positives of timed exclusives? Because to me that seems like you're paying to win. I don't know what you guys think, but it seems like you're paying to win, pretty much.
Because, like, think about it. Imagine if, like, you've created a game, then you say it's going to be launched, like, in a month. And imagine after that month, there's a tournament, first premium tournament. The guys have already pre-ordered, they're already way ahead of you. How do you expect to win? And then if they win, will it be a surprise that they won? So
not even.
It's not balanced. It says competitive, but like what 4 years has said, it's just pay to win.
I don't know. It's
because I think it's the same with Guilty Gear right now. I think it was on their English website, whereby was it the website or was it Daisuke Ishwatari? No, it was on the developer's backyard. They mentioned that is it the PC
will not have access to the deluxe edition. So we let you either pre-order the standard edition or the ultimate. No, you won't be able. Flip, I forgot the details, right?
Yeah.
But it's something regarding pre-ordering. So there's a certain edition of the game that you can't pre-order
Why?
when you're playing on PC. And also they say that the closed beta will be exclusive to the PlayStation 4. Now you begin to wonder, so why why market for the PC in the first why then market for the PC?
Hold on.
If it's-
I've got
Yeah.
an idea, but before you even go far, you were talking about pre-orders on PC. I'm on the Steam store right now, right? I'm gonna search Guilty Gear. I don't even think Strive is on the store. It's not here. I've searched for it before.
there,
There
it's not
was a
there.
time I was talking to Rampo-san and we were saying, "Oh, I'm gonna pre-order the game," and I was like, never pre-order a game. That was the moral of the story. Never pre-order. Just get it when it releases if it's good. But either way, they talk about a PC version, but it's not even there. It's not on the store. Maybe it will be later, but it's not there now.
It's okay. It's on selected stores.
Or
right?
like I would have to go to some website to get a key, to pre-order a key.
Not really. Like, how can I put it? On PS4, if you want to pre-order the game on PS, you have to pre-order it using your American account or European account.
Okay.
I'd like to assume that it's also there for the UK account as well.
Yeah, because
UK profile.
Rampo-san was talking about it, so I guess it's there for him.
Yeah. So when I also checked for the South African side, there is nothing on Guilty Gear Strive. Nothing at all. So
And
at the moment,
they're saying that the beta is only for PlayStation 4.
PlayStation 4, yeah.
That's I don't know. I might be jumping the gun, but I don't think that's a good look in this sense. Yeah, sure, Sony has money. Probably they paid for that little bonus, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, taste the game on PlayStation. Because even the beta you played in was a PlayStation beta. There was no
Yeah.
Strive beta for me at all. So I think that's part of it. Sony getting the rights. Maybe they paid some money for that. That money probably went to development or whatever. Daisuke needs a new car, right? We'll just put it out there. I think maybe it also might be evidence that the other versions of the game are not ready to be played. Remember, before Cyberpunk released, they only gave them review, or should I say preview copies of the PC version. They never gave them the
Yes.
PS3, Xbox One, etc. People only found out on release that those things were dead. After they had paid for them. So maybe this, what you're saying, could be a sign that they're struggling, or at least they haven't finished with the other versions of the game. Or maybe the PC version might not come on time. Bear in mind, every Guilty Gear that's on PC came years later than the console version.
Yeah, because I think it was on their website. They talked a lot more about the console version as compared to the PC version.
Yeah.
Because isn't it supposed to release 9 April, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 9 April. So on the website, if you check on the image, the character images and DLC images, it says 9 April, PS4 and PS5. They didn't say anything about the PC. So I'd like to assume that the PC version might come out a month or 3 days later.
No, that's too small. That's too small. Think about it like this. Revelator 2 came out May 2016 on PS. I don't know if it's there on Xbox. I could be wrong, right? But May 2016. Revelator 2 only came out on PC in July 2017. That was a year and 2 months later. Guilty Gear Sign, I believe, came out in 2014 for PS4. I could be wrong, but that was a May release 2015, so it was almost a year later. And then Accent Core literally came out a decade later. Literally 10 years later on PC. That's why I was saying that there hasn't been a Guilty Gear that released across the board. Even with Grand Blue came out 3 weeks later, was it a month later on PC? It wasn't even the same time. And I don't even see what's the point. I don't see what the console people got that I got or I didn't get on Grand Blue, because we're playing the same game. There was no pre-order character, pre-order skin, nothing. They just decided that end of February is the Japan release, and Steam got it towards the end of March. It was 24 or 27 March. So it was a month late with no real reason.
But if anything, right, I feel like these guys should at least give people like an extra bonus for waiting, waiting so long.
True.
Yeah.
I feel like if a game's a timed exclusive for a year or more, the DLCs should be included that came out that year. So I'll give an example. There's a company, let me find it before I butcher the facts. Right, I'm looking at XCOM 2. I'm going to the Steam store page now. If it loads, okay, it's loading up. Right, the developers are Firaxis Games. These guys have been known for making every XCOM game ever. Right, well, not all of them, but the main title XCOM games. They made a PC game. This I saw it right on 3rd of December on Steam, thinking that the XCOM guys have made a new game. Whoopee, I didn't know about it. It's called Phoenix Point, right? Apparently it already came out last year as an Epic Game Store exclusive. And I had no fucking idea that these guys who made XCOM, which I like, had already made the game and it was already out. I had no idea. But the thing is though, this Phoenix Point is called Phoenix Point Year 1 Edition. So if you buy it, you get all the DLC up until this point. You don't have to pay for it. So if you're gonna hit me with some timed exclusive nonsense and you've released DLC, by the time I get it late, that DLC has to be free. By default, you can't make me pay for shit that people have already played and finished. It doesn't make sense. But like the example of Samurai Showdown, if you had to get it on Epic Game Store now, and it came about half a year late after Season 1 was complete, you are still going to have to buy every Season 1 character as if you got it last year. So...
that's messed up, bro.
It's bullshit. So I don't know. Personally, for me, there's really no positive for the consumer or the community that I can see. Because for the community, I feel like also you stagnate the community in a year. So for example, I remember Monster Hunter World came out on the end of 2017 on consoles. My cousin was going crazy about it. Jurassic Bunny was going crazy about it. My brother was going crazy about it because we had already played the original Monster Hunter back in the day when Devil May Cry 3 came out. That's when the original Monster Hunter was out as well. So we had gotten a taste of it and we had fond memories of it. So the game is now finally current gen at the time in 2017. But I was on PC, no console. Never got to play the game. Game finally comes out towards the end of 2018 and I didn't give a shit. Part of the reason is I would be starting afresh when people, literally my cousin, by the time it had come out on PC, had already played 2,000 hours of the game. How am I going to catch up to someone who's 2,000 hours ahead of me? It doesn't even make sense. So even if we're looking at it like as an online social community game, you have these guys who are war vets already. And then in comes me, who has never played the game before. So it's like we have nothing to even talk about because this guy has already finished the game 20 times over. I'm only starting it now. What can we share? There's nothing we can even say to each other. So even the community is in fragments. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, true.
And also,
yes, speak, Daniel.
I was saying that, and also timed exclusives also promote like priority. Like the developers will focus more on a particular platform.
Yeah. If people are gonna be offering the right amounts of money, for sure. Like right now, if I was a PC developer, and I know that Epic Game Store gives you a lump sum of money for just going to their store, right? And of course, I'm not that they're totally assholes, right? They're not bad guys all the way. They are doing good things. Like for example on Steam, if you're a developer releasing your game on Steam, Valve, the company, I believe takes, is it 40% of everything you make? And they justify that by saying this is the best platform on PC, plus they're bonuses, like their systems work, and they've got all these fancy things and tools that you can use, but they're taking almost half of your money, which is a lot considering you have to pay workers, you have to pay this, taxes, and all these different things. I remember it was calculated to the point whereby, let's just say your game does well. Maybe let's just say you make 100 million in profit, some miracle game. Steam is taking 40 million by default, right? Let's just say you're an American developer. Steam takes 40%. The American government will take 16% in tax, thanks to Joe Biden, right? So you've already lost you've already lost 56% of your profit before you can even pay your workers. So Steam is expensive. Epic Game Store is saying we're only taking 20%. You keep 80%. And also they say that if your game doesn't make more than $1 million, they don't take anything. So that's pretty much charity at that point. So they're not bad guys. It's just how they steal developers. That's where they miss me. They miss me on that one. Because they also have this thing of, if a game is popular and they've got the extra money, they'll just come up to you with the $50 million wallet and say, what are you saying? And then everyone goes Epic Game Store's way. But anyway, it will cause competition. It's good. Steam is a monopoly. I understand that. Steam's the devil. Whatever, I understand. But but what I'm trying to say is I get where Epic Game Store is coming from. You have to fight the beast with beast-like tactics. So either way, for us, the consumers, the end users, that's where the tactics don't work out, because I don't benefit in any way by waiting for 2 years to play a game.
And also,
But-
another problem with their timed exclusives, I'll give an example. Cyberpunk. Let's say we release it in PS5, there are very few bugs. Then I wait a year for the PS4 version, got a ton of bugs. So why did I wait for a year now?
True.
And at some point, the developers will be like, you know what? Screw PS4. You guys will eventually fix the problem. We don't know when we'll fix it. They'll fix PS5. Maybe it'll take them a month. So now, what was the wait for? You're now just going to buy a game that you have to wait for it to get fixed again. So you're just playing to wait. You're just paying to wait. That's the problem. That's the problem with time exclusive. They won't even guarantee you that
the game will be successful. True. Because
Yeah,
it's not like you wait a year and the game will come out without bugs.
it'll be successful on PS4, but it doesn't mean it'll be successful on Steam.
Yeah, that's
Steam,
true.
yeah.
I've had situations like that where you finally get the timed exclusive, and it still is getting updates for useless bugs. So, for example, after I got Shenmue 3, after waiting 1 year, it's right here, December 22, hotfix coming soon. We're working on the following 2 changes for the game on Steam: achievements not unlocking for every DLC, and keyboard bindings not showing in game. These are basic ass bugs that should have been fixed in development. Guy, how are my keyboard keys not showing in the game? that's basic.
Wait,
As in-
do they intend to have people play the game using joysticks whilst they're
I assume so, because if you look back to, I believe it was 2016 E3, Sony had their conference, that whoever the guy was at the time, I've forgotten, called Yu Suzuki to make a speech, and he talked about how he had always dreamt of making a Shenmue 3 sequel to the game and all these wonderful things, and that he had started a Kickstarter. And so Sony was promoting his Kickstarter, right? So I think at that time, I believe Shenmue 3 was supposed to be a Sony exclusive. That's how I see it. Or else why would they have called him to their conference to get him help? Because they already gave him. I believe he had already made 6 million on Kickstarter. Sony then gave him some more, and then the Kickstarter blew up afterwards because Sony kept on marketing, hey, kickstart this game, Shenmue 3, you know what I mean? So I think it was supposed to be, at the very least, a console game like Xbox and PlayStation. At the very least. But I think it was initially, maybe the deal was that this could have been a Sony exclusive, but then something changed along the line. Maybe contract deals, yeah. So either way, I'm playing, well, I haven't downloaded it yet, but let's just say I'm a play today on PC, and I'm still being shown console buttons, or even if I tell it to show me keyboard buttons, the keyboard buttons glitch and they don't show. This is a small like if you're to look at potential problems, this is a very small problem that surely should have been fixed while it was an Epic Game
Yeah.
Store exclusive, because Epic Game Store is still a PC store. So why do I have a 1-year-old bug in my game on Steam? So yeah, it's a time, you think it's a timed exclusive, when you get it later all the bugs are gone. No, the bugs are still there, as if it's day
They're still
one.
there.
Yeah, as if it's
Pay
day
to
one.
wait. That's what it is.
So I don't know, gents. But generally, those are my frustrations with timed exclusives. Maybe people listening to this will educate me better. I know I tend to talk shit. But are there any are there any last points or last words that you guys wanna talk about in this topic before we call it a podcast?
I'll just say with him, it's either you make it an exclusive or you don't make it exclusive. When you now put it a time exclusive, like the example we just gave, you're just going to be paying to wait for a fix. Now your hype has just been ruined by just waiting. What is the wait for? It's just when you and actually you end up hating the company because of your waiting for bugs that are not waiting for fixes to pass that will never.
Yeah.
That's how in that's a disadvantage to the developers. They're just only losing a customer. So just make it exclusive or don't make it exclusive. Don't make it time.
Yeah, like what Dalu is saying, right? Timed exclusives are shit, right? So it's either you stick to your game being an exclusive, even if it fails or it succeeds, right?
Yeah.
Don't jump ship to another platform if you do not know what your game is gonna deliver at the end of the day, right? Because we can even just take, for example, Final Fantasy. It was supposed to be exclusive to the PlayStation 4 up until, I don't know, sometime in March, where it was released on Xbox and PC.
Wait, hold on.
Yes,
Hold on. Which Final Fantasy are we talking about?
the Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Hold on. This is news to me. What are you saying, man? What are you saying? Can you go repeat that shit? What are you saying, man? I can't hear you anymore. Can some repeat
Final
that shit, man?
Fantasy.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy VII?
Oh, this
I'm
guy.
actually Googling this right now.
Okay.
Wait.
D2.
Uh-huh.
D2. I hope you're recording this shit, man. Because some people might say my recording was doctored. What are you saying, King? What are you saying about this?
Chill,
FF7?
relax, Charles, relax. Hey.
I'm relaxing. I'm trying, but it's failing. So
Oh shit.
what up? I think this man just threw his laptop out the window.
Wait, okay, fine. Okay. Wait, where's that article I was reading? Flip.
No,
Oh
but,
my God.
no, but what you're saying is true in the sense of it wasn't a full-on exclusive, because every Final Fantasy game so far has been released on PC. They were all just released many years later. I have the entire FF13 collection on PC. Do not play Final Fantasy 13. It's a fucking terrible game. 13, 2 and Lightning Returns are trash. But anyway, my point is, yes, it wasn't supposed to be like PS4 forever. But they haven't said anything about releasing on any other platform. In terms of dates, I have not heard. That's something you can't miss. Trust me, Final Fantasy VII is too big for that information to not be heard by people. If PC had a release date for Final Fantasy VII, even I would know that shit. And I'm a dumb motherfucker. Even I would know that shit. I'm telling you, even I would know that. That's way too big. Way too big. For there to be a release date for other platforms and no one knows about it. That would have been so many articles online and YouTube videos, because fact of the matter is, before we even consider how historical Final Fantasy VII is, PC gamers are gonna be talking about, oh, how does it look like on 4K with ray tracing and what, and you know what I mean? That's already hype on its own to see that game running at 8K resolution. So that's information that wouldn't have just slipped and no one heard about. I mean, yeah, we can argue, you know, when will Guilty Gear Strive come out, we don't know sometimes. That's fine. but not Final Fantasy VII. Not that game. But you say what were you saying about it initially before you started hunting for the facts?
Information.
Like they initially wanted it to just be a PlayStation 4 game, and then apparently the articles seemingly where they're saying they're planning on making PC ports and Xbox ports for 2021.
Yeah, nah, that's true.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, I don't know if they'll end up pulling through because I feel like those articles are pre-COVID. I remember
Yeah,
that
pre-COVID, yeah.
episode 1 for Final Fantasy VII came out in February, right? Or was it end of January? And I remember in April or towards the end of March, when COVID was now a thing, but no one had really locked down yet, right? People were talking online saying, so when are the next episodes of the game coming out? Even though people were still happy with episode 1, they wanted like some information like, okay, expect episode 2 then, episode 3 then, etc. We should be done with the game by 2020, whatever, right? The developer came out and said, this was that shocked everyone. He was like, we currently don't know when the next episode will come out. Bear in mind, we're almost 2021 and there's no episode 2.
Yeah. And apparently episode 2 is in the works right now.
The thing
Because
is,
I saw
shouldn't
a
it have been done? How many episodes does this game have? Like, the developer hasn't even told us that like, for example, they're gonna split it into, for example, 5 episodes. They don't even know that. So was the development of the game really there in the first place? Was it finished? The reason why I'm going on this tangent is I was talking to my cousin once. I was like, I even talked to Fiery D2 and Smooth Javs about this. I was like, guys, I fucking love Baldur's Gate. There's Baldur's Gate 3, but it's coming out as an early access game. Then someone was like, what the fuck's an early access game? Then I was like, it means that the game isn't finished. You're paying for part of the game and hoping that they finish late. Then D2 came to me and he was like, so it's like pre-ordering. Then I was like, I guess you could say that. It sounds bad when you put it that way, but I guess you can say it like that. But then I was like, Larian Studios has made fantastic games ever since, so I kind of trust those guys. And then I justified buying Baldur's Gate 3 in the sense of it's to be finished. You're getting it in bits and pieces. They said by next year, end of next year, so October next year it will be done. Baldur's Gate 3 official release, just like how in October this year Hades did the official release. So it will be done next year. It will be kind of episodical if I think of the updates, which is kind of the same thing as what Final Fantasy is doing. So I justified it in my head in the sense that if people could pay full price for Final Fantasy VII and only get the first episode and not know how many episodes are there, when they'll come out and when it will finish, we're practically in the same boat. An early access game is like an episodic game in that degree. But at least with Baldur's Gate, they did say it will be done in a year.
As if the main developers don't die.
Yeah, pretty much. Or if no one steals the money and runs away. That's also an option. So I don't know. But with Final Fantasy, they said they have no freaking idea when it will be done. So that's my complaint, is that with Baldur's Gate, they kind of knew when it will be done. Because they are making the game. I feel like with Final Fantasy VII, they only actually made the first episode. They are actually still in. They just couldn't delay, because bear in mind, people have been waiting for that remake since before Final Fantasy 15. Square has been notorious for taking forever to release games. Forever. Till people forget. I'll give one last example before I take too much of your time. People who played Final Fantasy 15, Noctis, it wasn't really a great game, but at least it was a game, right? I can bet $1 million that a new generation of gamers, so for example, guys younger than us, the Rampo-sans and the Mswenyas, probably thought that Final Fantasy 15 is just the Final Fantasy after it was made after Final Fantasy 14 or after Final Fantasy 13, right? It's a new Final. It was the Final Fantasy Versus from Versus 13, guy. That's an old game. They literally started the concept of Final Fantasy 15 in 2008, and people only played that game on 2015, I believe, is when Final Fantasy 15 came out. Was it 2016? I don't remember. Or was it later than that? 2017. That's almost 10 years. developing one game, and it changed. It changed completely. I remember for Versus 13, the guy who became Noctis, the character now, was supposed to be some like antagonistic, baddish kind of guy who's also gay, who's the main character. They compare his character then to what Noctis is now. It's totally different things. The story is totally different. Everything's totally different. But it took them 10 years to finally arrive to what Noctis is now. People waiting for this Versus 13 that never came out and just became Final Fantasy 15. So I think with Final Fantasy 7 they actually hadn't finished the game. I don't think so. I think they're making the game right now. So just hope, like D2 said, the lead developer does not die, or else your money is gone. That's how I see it. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Timed exclusive business is tricky. I don't trust it. It's never done anything good for me. I'm still yet to see any good things coming from that stuff. So I don't know. Any last words, gents?
Only last I would say, make it exclusive. If it's good enough, release it on other platforms. That's all. Remove times exclusive.
Yeah,
That's it. That I think is only to benefit the developers and everyone else, but not the consumer.
yeah.
Consumer does not at all. Zero.
I don't trust it. King?
Yeah, pretty much with what Ali is saying, I do agree. I'm in agreement with what he said. And also, kids, if you're listening to this, stay in school, don't do drugs, and
Wear your mask.
yes, wear your mask.
This gentleman here throwing in their propaganda into this podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, if you've made it this far, thank you very much. At least we made it shorter than the previous one. Hope that we'll continue recording more. We'll have more interesting topics in the next podcast coming. Whenever you hear this to a podcast place near you, i.e. my channel, because I'm nowhere else. We'll see you next time. This was recorded on, what's the date? This was the 28th of December 2020. You might hear this in 2021 is what I'm trying to say. Thank you very much. We'll see you guys next time. Have a great one. Happy New Year if it's already happened. If I'm dead by the time this releases, make sure they burn the body. That's all I have to say. I'll see you guys next time.